Hi, my name is Kana, and here is my creative process. I was invited to create a piece for a show, and the theme was the element of fire. So I started thinking about what I wanted to make. In a joking conversation with my partner, we came up with the phrase nonsense incense, pun intended. But then I thought, you know what? Yeah, I do want nonsense to burn away. Can I explore that idea and turn it into an art piece? So, fire. When I hear the word fire, I immediately start brainstorming. At first, I associate fire with destruction, especially with everything happening in the world: war, climate change, forests burning down. Then I asked myself, does fire actually have the intention to destroy? I don't think it does. To me, fire itself is neutral. What changes the outcome is how it's used. Fire can cook our food, keep us warm, forge tools, or it can destroy. The element itself isn't good or bad, it's the way it's applied. That felt like an important idea, and I knew I wanted it to be part of the incense box. Then I asked myself, what else does fire make me think about? I'm the kind of person who sees everything as a reflection of ourselves. Earth is us, and we are Earth. So if the elements represent part of ourselves, what part of us is fire? Fire doesn't have to mean flames, it can be warmth. Our body temperature is warmth. When we digest food, we generate heat, energy in general. I visualize it as heat. That led me to looking into the chakras, and then boom. The body can be understood through the chakras in a way that's surprisingly similar to the Japanese Godai elements. Fire corresponds to the Manipura, also known as the solar plexus chakra. So then I looked into what the solar plexus represents: personal power, confidence, the ability to take action. That felt right. So I went back to asking myself what image could represent all of these ideas. I thought of deity from Japan, Fudomyo. At first glance, he looks intimidating. He almost looks like someone who brings destruction. But appearance don't define who he is. When you learn more about him, he's the fierce force that cuts away illusion and helps guide people toward enlightenment. That idea really stuck with me. If we're pretending to be someone we're not, we're living behind a mask. If we're holding on to stories, fears, and all the nonsense we've built around ourselves, I'd want all of that cut away. What does the sword represent? To me, it cuts through the fog, it cuts through illusion, it cuts away everything that keeps us from seeing clearly. At the same time, honesty has been something I've been working on in my own life. I've realized that sometimes I say things just to keep the peace or avoid awkward situations. Lately, I've been practicing only saying what I genuinely mean, not to be rude or intentionally hurtful towards someone, but if I don't like something, I don't have to pretend that I do. So the sword became the image I wanted to use. I originally wanted to paint the entire figure of Fido Myo, but I realized the sword alone said everything I wanted to say. It's got about cutting away, it's about burning away, it's about realizing that destruction isn't always negative. Sometimes something needs to end because it no longer serves you. If something isn't contributing to your well being, maybe it needs to be cut away. After all, we create our own reality. So, long story short, I chose the sword. To add more subtle visual reference, I painted the sides of the box to resemble the boulder that Fudomyo sits on. Fire itself is pretty abstract, so visually the sword is the main symbol. But to me, the sword represents the function of fire. So it's still completely about fire. And then there is the incense inside the box. I wanted the incense itself to spell the word nonsense because I want to literally burn the word away. To sit with it, to meditate while watching the incense burn, to watch the word nonsense slowly disappear and remind myself that I'm burning away the thoughts I no longer need, the habits I no longer need, the self sabotage I no longer need. Anyway, my thoughts are kind of all over the place, but that's what this piece is about. Bye.